So the opportunity came up for a Supertrax tour in the province of Quebec in one of my most favorite areas. And so it was a great opportunity for me to go back and see Quebec again with my brother, who we haven't done Quebec together for over 35 years.
So what year was it that we actually came to Quebec? Do you remember that?
You know, when we got the invite on this trip, I was thinking to myself, what was it? What year was it when we first went to Quebec? And I think it was 1980. But the thing that really blew me away was the guys who helped us set it up, who were veterans of going to Quebec and had been doing it for years, the stories they told us about how good it was. I remember thinking, I mean, can this really be this good? And you know what? It was better than they told us. That was the cool part.
I've done quite a few travel features for Supertrax over the years, but I've always done them with either Luke or AJ or both of them. And this time I thought, you know what? I gotta call up my brother Kent and get him involved, and if I can drag him away from his magazine work at Supertrax, I'll take him to Quebec.
Yeah, when Mark came to me and asked me to come to Quebec on a trip, I was all for it because we hadn't done that for a lot of years. And it's always fun to hang out with your bro. We have some great memories, particularly of this Mont Laurier area.
The Laurentians area, as far as a tourism destination and a snowmobile destination, is very easy to reach because it's only a short drive north of Montreal, and it's just a short drive across the Ottawa River into Quebec from Ontario. It's an easy place to get to, and it's not long out of the way. There's no question that Quebec is a special destination when you go snowmobiling, and I gotta say, it did not disappoint on this trip. Staying at Rabaska Lodge was an unbelievably cool experience. This is a 5-star accommodation facility. The scenery, the access in and out by trail, but I mean, as far as a quality location goes, this place rocks.
Rabaska is like a 5-star out here in the boonies, and it is just beautiful. The facilities here are I don't know how to say it other than to say they're magnificent. It's just worth the ride.
So we were pretty excited on the first morning. We got up and got geared up, got outside, unloaded the trailer, got our sleds out. Everything was ready to rock, ready to run. And Martin came along from Rabaska Lodge, and he was going to be our guide for the whole tour.
What we did know about Martin was how much fun he is. He's a real character. He's definitely a unique guy who is fun to hang around.
How you guys doing?
Oh, great. We had a great night.
Yeah, it's snowing a little bit,
Yeah.
so we're gonna have a great day today.
I know. What could be better?
So the area here, what is special, it's a lot of wood industry road they have around here. So we use that because when they take the wood, they just go back like 25 years later. So we use the road for do some trail with it. So we have a lot of trail. It's 2,000 kilometers of trail of snowmobile around the Rabaska.
Coincidentally, some of the places we were going to go were actually places that Kent and I went 35 years ago on our first trip to Quebec. How cool is that?
When it gets right down to it, to a snowmobiler, it's all about the trails. The trails here are just outstanding, and they are world class. I don't know of anywhere you can go where there's such consistency and constant grooming and width. I mean, even the time of year when we're here, where you would expect trails to be in bad shape, these trails were just perfect.
What is very nice too at the Rabaska, we have a lot of people come from Europe because it's very popular snowmobile in Quebec because the language, you know, so the European people come here to do some snowmobile. But we keep the weekend for you people, Ontario and from United States.
The trails in Quebec are just unequaled. They do a fabulous job of grooming, maintaining, signing, bridging. The experience as soon as we hit the trail from Rabaska Lodge with Martin leading us, it was just, I mean, what else can you say? Man, it was Quebec.
Well, one of the highlights of our trip here was to go to Mont Diablo, which is Devil's Mountain in English. And it's probably one of the big bucket list items for any snowmobiler. So we were really anxious to go there again. We hadn't been there for a long time.
So I got to tell you that a big part of this trip that really got me excited to be able to do this feature was going back to Devil's Mountain. Everybody's heard of Devil's Mountain in Quebec in the Laurentians. It is an iconic destination, maybe one of the most iconic destinations on the whole eastern half of the continent. And it is a cool, cool snowmobile ride.
Well, one of the great memories Mark and I always had of coming to Mont Laurier area was the trip up Devil's Mountain. We really wanted to check it out again because it was such a big part of our trip. I think that Devil's Mountain, frankly, is one of the top 5 iconic things that you can do in snowmobiling, period.
It was a little bit foggy, but it was breezy, as it always is up there because it's good high altitude. The fog started to clear and the snow dust that was flying around, there was a light snow falling, it all cleared. And then you can see, I mean, you can see forever up there. And it was just amazing to experience Devil's Mountain again. So it was pretty difficult when we left up there to know that we had seen it and then we had to go. But what was even more difficult was to take in the view and resist getting on the loud handle a little bit more. Honestly, the view was so spectacular. We were just stunned.
Well, after we had seen Devil's Mountain again, we made the trail run back. And of course, that was the highlight, really, was coming back on trails. These trails are just so amazing. And we turned up the wick. We were clipping along nicely on these trails. It was good speed and the conditions were perfect.
It was typical classic Quebec riding. Nice wide trails with really nice wide curves that you can back in, drag the brake a little, get back on the gas coming out, and everything's really predictable. It's really fun to ride in Quebec. We had the hammer down coming back to Rabaska Lodge. Martin's leading us. He knows where we're going. We're just having a blast following him and keeping the throttle at a fairly high opening level. And we pulled back into Rabaska, and man, we knew that we had had a day. In fact, we knew we had had a day that we hadn't had since 1980.
I mean, this is world class. And it was really, really thoroughly enjoyable. A great way to finish a fantastic day in Quebec.
So our experience in the Rabaska made, because we're a user, we do snowmobile, my wife and I, so we know exactly what we want. We know what type of service we want. So I think the philosophy we have is built on that, and I think we do a great job with that.
We concluded a great day of riding with a great day of food and friendship and camaraderie, and we were just really content to get back to our beautiful accommodation at Rabaska Lodge and call it a night, looking forward to the second day. Rabaska Lodge is situated right next to a fairly fast-flowing river, and when we woke up in the morning out the window of our cabin and then out onto the deck, we were just amazed at how beautiful it was there. It was a really cold morning and the steam was coming off the water, creating like an ice fog. And I'm thinking to myself, man, this is like somebody planned this.
The mornings are always quite crisp and cool in Quebec, and it was no different. It kind of took us back in time because the weather was very similar. You get on the sled and you can feel it in your face, you know, and your fingers are tingling a little bit, but it's just such a great experience to get on these trails first thing in the morning.
So our destination was this really beautiful waterfall that's really a great tourist attraction summer and winter, and you can take the sleds right up to the base of the falls. The trail to get there was just amazing. It was another Quebec day on snowmobiles, incomparable in terms of the experience and the riding. We were on the gas. We were having so much fun riding and riding hard. And Martin's out front, he's leading us, so we didn't have to worry at all about where we were. It always impresses me how Quebec gets it when it comes to tourism. And Martin, even though he owns Rabaska Lodge, and that's his business, he was super cool about making sure that we saw other businesses and other participants in the snowmobile tourism trade. And so on our way to Windigo Falls, we stopped at Windigo Village, which is another 5-star, super high quality resort with amazing cuisine, right on the trail, great access. And so Martin, he took us to that destination so that we could enjoy a really awesome lunch and experience some other things that Quebec has to offer other than just his lodge.
After we had lunch, we learned that about 6 minutes away was Wendigo Falls. Now, I had seen Wendigo Falls before, but I didn't go there with anybody who kind of knew the past and the history of the place. And I always thought that it was man-made. It's such a unique place because it actually doesn't look natural, but it is. And when you see the water coursing down the falls, it's just unforgettable.
You know, when our trip was coming to an end and winding down, I have to say that it was really a great experience to see Quebec again. It was just great to relive it all with my brother because we both have the same frame of reference and the same context on Quebec. We love the place, we love going there. We started off going there together 35 years ago. Each of us has been individually many times in between. But this was cool to do it again in a spot where it all started for us when we were just pretty much new snowmobilers.
If you've enjoyed this video and would like to see more content from Snowtrax TV, click the like button and subscribe to the Snowtrax TV YouTube channel.